The genesis of the Youth Crime Watch of Jamaica UA Biodiesel initiative is threefold. First, seeks to reduce the level of waste vegetable oil that is available in the Kingston metropolitan area. It also looks at the broader issue of the reliance on fossil fuel by Jamaica at large. So a large part of our US foreign exchange is used to import oil from abroad. It also seeks to sensitize community members about environmental stewardship, caring for the environment generally.
The used oil, cooking oil, would be thrown away in the gullies, as we empty our deep fat fryers and we seek to wash up, and it would not really, we are not sure if we would be discarding of it the right way. And so the fact that there's an organization or a group of persons who are using this oil to make another product like diesel oil, I believe that by us contributing this used oil to the project, we are making a worthwhile contribution to our country.
Part of what happens at the community level is the absence of involvement in certain activities. So they're interested in entertainment activities, they're interested in sporting activities, but we also wanted to get them involved in issues of entrepreneurial activity, which is also a major issue. The recurrent theme that you'll hear is one of lack of employment.
The main problem that the community face is unemployment. There are qualified persons in the community, but they are not experienced enough to work. And then you have the others that are not qualified and they just can't get a job.
Community face, especially with the males, the younger males, the out of school youths, in terms of wanting a job, not getting a job. Most time it's because of low literacy, or some people it's just lackadaisical to move on their own. So I have to give them that push start.
As a young individual growing up, I had it really rough because I am with a single parent, two brothers, my grandma, but she recently passed away. Well, the experience is, really to tell you the truth, it's really rough, but that never really stopped me to push on to go to my goals, my dreams, stuff like that.
One of the mandates of the GEF Small Grants Programme is to support communities in addressing environmental issues. And how we partnered with the Youth Crime Watch is that they applied for a grant for renewable energy. That's climate change mitigation as one of our focal areas. We went through the concept, which was very good because currently the government is working on their climate change policy and so forth. Biofuel is one of the sub-policies of the overall policy that they are looking at. And when we look at the biofuels policy, we realize that certain components in there, we can work with communities and implement some of the initiatives that are there. The assessment was carried out on the count for Youth Crime Watch, and we found it very fascinating and something that we'd want to do, because we have not heard of a partnership with an NGO and a university to do something, to do a project like this, because from it we saw where it's going to help community, it is feasible for communities, and it can support certain policies that the government would require. Also, we have the research arm of the component of the project, which would be given by the University of the West Indies, and that's where we saw a very good partnership.
Now, the Biodiesel project, remember, it is being housed through Youth Crime Watch Jamaica, that Biodiesel initiative. If you look at the structure of a social entrepreneur program and the project itself, you can say that is the model which it is being applied through. Now, a social enterprise has three key components: mission-driven. It must have something that they're trading, and the profits generated from that program is reinvested in fulfilling the mission. So you think about the Biodiesel project. What is the key objective of the Biodiesel project? Is it primarily to give people more insights into alternative energy sources? That is one element of the value that is created. importantly, it creates additional value because A, it let people recognize that through the process of recycling, you make the environment cleaner. Now, if you don't have these kinds of transformation of these oils, into something else that is useful, and we don't even talk about the fuel as yet, but into something else that is useful, that oil becomes food for rats and rodents and all different kind of things that are transmitters of diseases within many communities. So now, if in these communities which have all these cook shops and even adjoining fast food places, because a lot of fast food places are around those areas, decide to be the central collection point, it means now that they will have enough supply to actually be generating diesel fuel which can be used as business in the community. Yes? So out of the enterprise, jobs are created. So no, the focus is not on job creation, The focus is on wealth creation, and from the wealth creation process, jobs are created.
The project has helped me a lot because I learned a lot more about keeping the place clean and how to while keeping the place clean, getting an income from it. And at the same time, it will help other youths of the community. Some of the challenges that we face are like when, so for instance, we go to a restaurant to get oil. If it's a case that somebody else is collecting oil from there, is that we have to pay for it, or we just can't get it from them. And in the community, we don't go door to door. We like ask around, and somebody asks somebody and somebody asks her. But it's not all the while we get oil. And then the oils that we get now, if it's there too long, remember we don't have a place to put it, so it has to be at our house. So like our parents are like, yo, why you have so much garbage at the yard, enough there already and things. So yeah, those are some of the challenges we face. And getting a plant or an area for the biodiesel, I think the Nannyville community and the Mountain View area will benefit from that plan a lot.
Primarily, we used to use the cooking oil for just cooking purposes, and once the oil is used up for this purpose, we would discard of it by throwing it away. We empty our deep fat fryer. We'll just throw away this oil, but we are pleased to be a part of the whole community that is contributing the used oil to this product. Thing like diesel oil, I think that is a grand idea.
Basically, we run a little cook shop, little fry and them things, and let's try can go and help and do one thing and save some oil. Yeah, man, we just save the oil said speed, because I don't know really able the project from our friends and ones, you see me? So we just make sure that the man can forward through and get them oil, well stocked up and buried, you see it.
When you go up on the campus and learn and see how them deal, how them wash the oil, and how it come to formation they can use to go in a car. That is my experience with me. I never get too much. But me help collect the oil them and carry them at the campus at times.
There was a call for proposals sent out from the GEF Small Grants Proposal under the auspices of the UNDP. They are one of the key international development partners who have championed the cause of environmental sustainability. So the initiative itself, we saw where the work that we want to do synergized well with what was being offered, what was being asked for from the UNDP through the GEF Small Grants Programme. And the relationship itself has been a very good one. They have a very strong belief in developing the capacity of the community members.
These are solutions or initiatives to solutions to not just the local community, but national and probably regional.
You know, Small Grants Programme, I would say globally, is, while it's funded by the Global Environment Facility, it's one of the flagship projects of the Global Environment Facility and also of UNDP, who that implements the Global Environment. It's one of the implementers of what we call GEF. And one of its requirements is that I mentioned we work with the communities. At the same time, you also leverage other resources, not only communities' resources, but bring in other partners. Those are some of the selection criteria for proposals that get selected. And overall, in Jamaica, I think this program has done excellently. They've done very well, because not only the communities have given it all its support, but the project has also built the capacity of the communities, worked very closely with them, and many of the communities have, in fact, taken to scale some of the activities that are done under the Global Environment Facility Small Grants Programme.
The suggestion to use vehicles like 2010, 08 there was great reservation. But we took the bold step and we used a 2010 NMR Isuzu truck to add this biodiesel, which is a WVO, which is waste vegetable oil, and it has proven to be very fruitful. The presently benefits on using it: the vehicle runs smoother, there's greater acceleration, and there's a significant reduction in fuel consumption. So there are, I would say, major advantages of using.
Used cooking oil contains triglycerides. Now, this we can break down through a chemical reaction to produce what you'd call fatty acid methyl esters. Fatty acid methyl esters are long chain esters which burn in the same way as diesel fuel would. It's different from petroleum diesel in that it is not a mineral fuel. There are many advantages of using biodiesel in an engine. For one, it carries what you call lubricity to the engine, which means engine parts would move much more smoothly. The engine will be much more lubricated, less friction, and because of that, the engine actually runs better, which means one will require less frequent maintenance or less frequent servicing of that vehicle. There are several other advantages. Biodiesel burn in such a way that you have minimal soot production, and hence you won't find black smoke coming from a vehicle that is largely using biodiesel. In addition, it has little or no sulfur, and hence it contains less sulfur in the fuel than, say, ultra low sulfur diesel.
Jamaica has a national energy policy that forms a part of the framework for Vision 2030, and as a subset of that, there is a biofuels policy. Now, the energy policy overall projects that we want at least 20% of our energy coming from renewables by 2030. And a subset of that will be from biofuels. And of course, biodiesel would fit into that mix.
In fact, they have modified that local requirement would be 30% of the total energy services to be provided through renewable energy sources by 2030. And I think that's a fantastic, target to work for, to achieve. Jamaica is one of those countries where electricity is available at 42 cents per kilowatt hour. We need to look at all energy sources, especially the renewable ones, because this island that's also dependent on tourism. And unless we find out those particular resources that can be sustainable, but also be appealing because they keep the integrity of the environment within the country, those are the ones we should look for.
Sustaining our energy security is more than just biodiesel. There are a number of renewables that have to come into play because we need to be able to have a constant supply as well as an affordable supply. And so Jamaica has solar. You can see the solar panels that we have here. We also have wind and hydro that have to come together until we find that best blend of technologies. And so the biodiesel project is one part of that solution in finding that best blend for Jamaica. So further research needs to be done, but definitely so far we know that biodiesel will form a part of it in the same way that we have included ethanol as a blend for gasoline. I can foresee us including biodiesel as a blend for conventional diesel in the future.
We had a launch in 2013 that gave us quite a lot of coverage both in the radio and television segment of the media, as well as in the newspaper segment, the print media, about the project, about what it is that we want to do. And that kind of drummed up the interest of persons at the community level about what we were doing and the innovative nature of the project as well. So we had schools wanting to be involved, we had communities that want to know how could they be a part of it. And so that was part of the success that we have had so far. We have been able to do a lot of collaborations as well. We have been able to collaborate with the University of the Virgin Islands, who saw what we were doing through our project, sent a representative to Jamaica to get a better understanding of the Biodiesel initiative, and now they've been able to launch a national program in the US Virgin Islands that surrounds the collection of biodiesel and the conversion.
We started doing the actual thing to create the biodiesel from waste vegetable oil, and I was like, what? How can someone use oil and convert it to diesel oil to put in a car and drive? That was preposterous to me. I never thought it was possible. When he's explaining the process and we're actually doing it now, and I was like, whoa. And I said, this thing is really serious. And it intrigues me so much, and I don't even want to stop.
We have one person already in the farm, Steve Graham, who has started his own soap making. We see opportunities in there for persons in terms of biodiesel conversion, as well as for persons to actually build these machines. And that is part of where we want to get to. So persons along the supply chain in terms of repairs, building the machines, soap making, the biodiesel conversion, are just some of the ways that we think sustainability will help.
Actually here, I'm holding a bar of soap that I have made from used vegetable oil. This soap is as good as any soap on the shelf and is good for washing bathroom, cars, vehicle, and even bathing with after it is aged properly. In making the soap, is the whole process that we use is in that no heat is applied otherwise. It will generate its own heat based on the chemicals used. The actual ingredients of this soap is sodium hydroxide, distilled water, and used cooking oil.
Looking at the policy document, it basically speaks to the overall focus of our energy policy, our renewable policy, and specifically our national biofuels policy that looks at the usage of renewables, and this one is for transport fuel, which is biodiesel. And it basically uses what you call the cradle-to-cradle approach, which the raw material, the waste product or the end product from one production becomes the raw material for another product. And basically this is a sustainable, environmentally safe way. And I believe if this project is implemented as it should, it will contribute to Jamaica's reduction in the importation of diesel and to our uptake of biodiesel from renewable sources.
I want to, give special thanks to our partners over the years that we've been in Jamaica since 2003. The government, private sector has done it as well, but we want to thank everybody, and we encourage you all to continue to support the program.